Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I'm here to talk about the 2024 NFL Monday Night Football schedule. Here are my thoughts and reaction on it. Honestly, it's an okay schedule. I think the Sunday night schedule, in my opinion, that I just recap, I think that's a better schedule to me. But honestly, it's a solid schedule. There's some good games here. But some of them are kind of just, hey, you don't care about them, to be honest. Some mediocre ones here. But let's get into it. So starting off week 1, the San Francisco 49ers versus the New York Jets. An AFC-NFC game here. Aaron Rodgers in that first game last year after 4 plays, suffering that torn Achilles. But I just think the 49ers are the better team here. I just don't know about the Jets. I mean, the Jets have a lot of primetime games, but I'm not sure. I think the 49ers are going to kick their ass here. Because just Brock Purdy, McCaffrey, George Kittle, Ayuk, Samuel. They just have way more talent than the Jets offensively. It's not saying the Jets are a bad offensive team, but the 49ers are just better on both sides of the ball. So, I don't know, I just like the 49ers here. This could be a solid week 1 matchup, but we'll see. Week 2, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Philadelphia Eagles in week 2. Kirk Cousins' first primetime game as an Atlanta Falcon facing the Philadelphia Eagles. Always seems like they find a way to find each other on Monday Night Football. We'll see how Kirk Cousins does in his first game as an Atlanta Falcon. With the key players over there like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, some good talent over there. We'll see how he does in his first year as Atlanta Falcon. Playing familiar foe, he's played a lot of times in the past in the Eagles. And we'll see how the Eagles' defense does this year, because their defense was kind of not as good as it's been last few years. Last year, really down year from that defense, especially their secondary. We'll see if their secondary can improve this year. Getting Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, the draft, the 2 best corners, to me, that could help their defense drastically. Week 3, Buffalo Bills versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Allen versus Trevor Lawrence, 2 young quarterbacks there. Like I say, we need to see Trevor Lawrence step it up this year, have a good year. I know they lost Calvin Ridley, but they got Brian Thomas Jr., who I think will be a good receiver for them. So we definitely need to see Trevor Lawrence step it up here, because he had a down year last year. He needs to prove it this year. His talent's what it takes to be that generational talent. And then Josh Allen, we'll see how he does with that roster, and see how their defense, if it takes a step back, which I expect it to, not having some key players that they released, some like all-pro talent, Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White. Week 3, also part of this doubleheader, Cincinnati Bengals versus Washington Commanders. This one's only interesting to me. 2 former LSU quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, and then Jaden Daniels going at it. 2 former LSU quarterbacks. But overall, it's kind of a mid matchup outside of that storyline with 2 former LSU quarterbacks. Week 4, we have another doubleheader, back-to-back weeks of doubleheaders. Week 4, you start with the Miami Dolphins, Tennessee Titans there, Tua Tagovailoa versus Will Levis. Remember that comeback last year? Monday Night Football, Titans come back there late, Will Levis leads that comeback. And then the Detroit Lions versus Seattle Seahawks. It'll be interesting, because I don't think Seattle Seahawks had their offensive coordinator from last year, Waldron, went to the Bears. We'll see how their offense looks, see if it looks any better than last year without Waldron. So that's your week 3 and 4 doubleheader. Week 5, you have the New Orleans Saints versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Poor Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints, they're going to get destroyed by the two-time defending champion Kansas City Chiefs there by Mahomes. We'll see how their offense looks. Kind of interested to see how their offense looks, not having Rashee Rice, and maybe Xavier Worthy will have to do more than what maybe he was going to be originally asked to do. It's going to be interesting. I think their offense is going to be way better this year. Week 6, the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. It's an interesting division game there. Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen going at it. Remember, Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles only about either 3 or 4 plays in that game last year, week 1. We'll see. We'll see how Aaron Rodgers responds in that game. Because I'm pretty sure he's going to be looking at that game, circling that on his calendar. Week 7, we have another doubleheader. So many doubleheaders. First of 2 games here. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lamar Jackson versus Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield coming off getting that big extension. And the Ravens, obviously, with Lamar, Derrick Henry, their running game's going to be a force. So I like this game here. And Arizona Cardinals versus Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers with Jim Harbaugh against Kyler Murray. Well, so, I mean, that might be an okay game. Kind of just a mid-game at best. Yeah, week 8, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus New York Giants. Week 8, really? Oh, yeah, we either get to see Russell Wilson or Justin Fields against Daniel Jones. How great. Week 10, the Miami Dolphins versus Los Angeles Rams. Tua Tagovailoa against Matthew Stafford there. And some good receivers in that matchup as well with Tyreek Hill and Puka Nacua, 2 elite receivers right there. We'll see how Puka Nacua follows that rookie season, that breakout rookie year. Week 11, the Houston Texans versus Dallas Cowboys in the Battle of Texas. C.J. Stroud versus Dakota Prescott. Should be a fun one. Dak coming off one of his best years last year. I know it didn't end the way we wanted it, where he choked in the playoffs, but still had a great year. C.J. Stroud, one of the top quarterbacks in the league already even after his rookie year. It's crazy. That's going to be one of the Monday Night Football games of the year. Week 12, Baltimore Ravens versus Los Angeles Chargers. The battle of the Harbaughs, Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh. Week 13, the Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos. Really? You couldn't give the Cleveland Browns a better primetime game for their one primetime game on Monday night than the Broncos. Who wants to watch Bo Nix and Deshaun Watson on primetime? Week 14, Dallas Cowboys versus Cincinnati Bengals. That's going to be a good one. Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott going at it, depending if Joe Burrow's healthy, if he stays healthy throughout the year. Cowboys have 2 good primetime games. Week 15, the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. Our last doubleheader of the season. 2 rookie quarterbacks going at it there, J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams. And then the Atlanta Falcons versus Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders probably going to be the most mid-game Monday night game of all time. It'll probably be competitive but low scoring. And then Week 16, the Green Bay Packers versus the New Orleans Saints. Jordan Love and Derek Carr there. The Green Bay Packers, bringing the new defensive coordinator. I think they're going to be a really good, solid team in that NFC. And then Week 17 in the year, probably the Monday Night Football game of the season, depending if the starters are playing towards the end of the year, the Detroit Lions versus San Francisco 49ers. I thought it should be maybe earlier in the season, but I think it's a good way to end the Monday night schedule with Niners, Jets, and then Lions, 49ers to end the season. There's Lions, some things went their way in that NFC Championship last year. Could have represented the NFC in the Super Bowl. They had that big lead, but then they kind of got comfortable. Defense fell apart. Just nothing went right. Turnovers. And the Lions 49ers definitely going to be the Monday night game of the year. Look at the schedule. Either that or the 2 Cowboy games. Overall, it's a solid schedule. Some games are but there's some good games here. But yeah, it's real to say. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.